Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Dolly the Rebel here, or Taylor if you are new. So in today's video, I'm showing you guys how I do my foundation. So I use the Maybelline Fit Me Poreless Matte Foundation in 330 and 338, and I'm just taking this Real Techniques brush and just dotting both foundations all over my face. I sped through this portion just because it's tedious. So I just dot it all over my face and mix it, and then I take this foundation brush by Real Techniques and I just stipple the foundation into my skin, and then I buff it into circular motions. So that's how I pretty much get my flawless finish with my foundation. I started using Real Techniques maybe at the end of the year last year for my foundation, and I do not use a beauty blender anymore. That way it saves me on, I get more product, or I use less product, but I get more product on the end where I'm not using as much compared to the sponge because it's soaking up so much foundation. And just stippling that, and you just get I feel like a more clean finish, and not streaky or anything like that. And with me having dark marks on my face, I feel like I get more of the full coverage on my face that I like. And I'm just taking some leftover product that was on that smaller Real Techniques brush, and I'm just going in, like I said, I like a more full coverage for those dark marks on my face, and just covering those up. And I'm going to stipple that foundation into my skin again and buff it out. Okay, so now I'm going to use my Louise eyeshadow base in Rumor Number 5, and I typically use this as a concealer. I just really like the texture and the finish it gives me on my face. So I am just going to highlight underneath the eyes, around my mouth, down my nose, my chin, and right underneath my cheekbone, or the jawline area. And that's what you're pretty much highlight, or when you're highlighting, depending on your face, you want to highlight where the sun would naturally hit you, or how can I put it, it's like a contrast. So you want to highlight the high points of your area, so your forehead, your nose, your chin, um, underneath your eyes and your jawline. And then when you contour, you want to create a shadow, so you want to do around your forehead, underneath your jawline or your cheekbone, and yeah, I already said jawline. So yeah, your jawline and your cheekbone area, to create more of a shadow, but to make your face look more chiseled. And of course, down the bridge of your nose, if you want a more snatch snage, of course, we do want a season 12 nose, okay, honey? So that's what I'm just going to be doing here. And I am using a Real Techniques brush. Of course, all the brushes that I am using in this video are by Real Techniques for the most part, I think, except for two. And I am just tapping the base into place, but blending it out, if that makes sense. So not dragging it, but patting motions and taking it out, so we don't have any harsh lines or anything like that. Now I'm going to take my baking powder or setting powder by Beauty Bakerie, and this is in the yellow color. I cannot pronounce the name. It starts with a C, but it is yellow, and I'm just going to set the highlight portion of my face with this powder. I did use kind of a lot of powder on my face. I typically like to bake. Um, so yeah, that's just my preference. I do set my eyebrows just to take like any shine away from the pomade, things like that. But yeah, I'm just setting my face here, and then we're going to get into the contour. For the contour, I'll be using the Crayon Case Contouristion Notebook, and I believe the shade that I'm using is Bobby, if I'm not mistaken. But it is the darkest shade in the palette, and I am just contouring my forehead, underneath my cheekbones or my cheekbone area, underneath my jawline, and down my nose. And with my nose, I do kind of mix the shades, so I'll go in with the same dark shade from the eye socket down to the point of my nose just to create a shape. And then I use a lighter shade. I think it's like Ross. It's close to my skin tone, if I'm not mistaken. It's either Ross or Raven, something like that. I can't remember the name of it. I'll list everything down in the description box. And I just, because it is my nose, you don't want your nose contour to be super harsh, so I just use a lighter shade to blend out those harsh lines, but also make sure that the bridge of my nose is highlighted just to give it some contrast. And I also clean up the sides of my nose with that same lighter shade you'll see here in a minute, just to make sure it's clean. Like I said, we want a snage. So yeah, you guys will see here in a minute how I do that. And here, guys, I'm just kind of touching up my contour, nothing too major, just to make sure it is to my liking as far as like the blends and everything. I typically go back and forth just to make sure this portion of my face is the way I like it before I set it. And I am setting my powders with the MAC Fix Plus setting spray. And for my highlight, I am using the Dose of Colors highlighter in Fuego from the Desi X Katie collection. And I don't know what MAC brush this is. I can't remember. I'll find out for you guys, and I'll link that in the description box as well. And I'm just highlighting the high points of my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, and my chin. Again, with highlighting, you want to highlight the high points of your area or where the sun would naturally hit.
That's that UE, boy.
And now I am just going to finish up with some powdered foundation. And this is just the key to tie everything together. So if you over highlighted, put on too much blush. I know my highlight like underneath my or by my jawline area, it seems pretty harsh, but I just set my whole face with a powdered foundation, buff that into the skin, and I spray my face with some setting spray and just let everything set, and my face comes out flawless every time. And I'm also am under some like white light, so everything does look a little bit more intensified. But of course, you guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you can always see that my makeup comes out beautifully. So yeah, if you guys try out this routine, definitely let me know how it works for you. Tag me in any of your pictures if you post on Instagram, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.